Horikoshi just dropped the biggest bombshell of manga in 2024 today. About 10 or 12 hours ago, these images started to be leaked online. Images of the final additional pages added in the newest volume of My Hero Academia. And so let's give a few little details here, some clarification before I go any further. Basically, about a week ago, I made a video talking about how My Hero Academia would get an additional 38 new pages for its final volume. And that final volume is obviously now out, and we're starting to get a glimpse at what those pages are obviously showcasing. Now, there's already been examples of artwork being completely touched up from some of the previous chapters that we've already seen. For instance, like Shigaraki and Izuku going at each other and punching each other. There's a lot more heavy detail in the fist and the impacts and stuff, showcasing what a break does to a author and how their art can definitely improve if given enough time to work on something. But the main point and the biggest bombshell is that the additional pages give us conclusion to Ochako and Izuku's relationship. Because ever since the conclusion of the manga, the fan base has been, let's just say, upset, feeling very cheated by the series. Now, I went on links to talk about this in the past, in previous videos, when I talked about, like, the final chapter when it released, and I said that I'm not someone that really cares too much about romantic ships. I will talk about them, because obviously they are a part of the story, but at the end of the day, the romantic ships and whoever ends up with who, I will be fine with whoever. For instance, if Izuku got with, Tsuyu, okay. If Izuku even got with, like, Bakugo, I'd be like, okay. It's Horikoshi's story. If he wants to do that, he wants to do that. I'd be like, okay, done is done. But the thing is that when the final chapter came out, okay, there was really no conclusion to the romantic pairings, much at all. You can assume, but there was never really any concrete, like, definitive answer given to the fans. And obviously, a lot of people felt like Deku, aka Izuku, got cheated or cucked by Bakugo or any other character like Ida, etc., and Ochako was stolen away from him. That was a meme going around for a very long time. On top of that, the McDonald's employee memes that has plagued poor Izuku since that final chapter came out can finally be put to rest. And let's just get right into that. So, first off, let's get into the, McDonald's employee allegations. This is a new page added, and if you don't understand what's going on here, if you read the final chapter, you know, but basically, Izuku got a new set of armor. The best that money can buy. Bakugo and everyone else a part of, UA saved up some money to be able to get, Deku, the best of the best gear for he can be an active hero once again. And so what you see going on with his outfit, it's forming around his body, allowing him to actually resume hero duty, despite him not having one for all anymore. So this is a nice solid conclusion that even though Izuku is a teacher, he doesn't have his ability anymore, he's still able to do something. Because we have seen capabilities of people that don't actually have quirks, or they are limited by their quirk, using gadgets and tools to be able to actually fight said villains. So in this case, completely fine. I think this additional page showcasing the armor, being equipped and all that, it looks absolutely beautiful. Love this. Very good panel that honestly corrects a lot of things that I had with the ending, and I feel like a lot of people had with the ending. But on top of that, we gotta get into, obviously, the romantic pair. Now, this is very early on. We don't know exactly every single page and what every little bit of the chapter or the new additional pages is added, but obviously we have a brief glimpse of what some of these pages are. And one page in particular is literally, if you look here at the top, Toga pushing Ochako to confront Izuku and basically say how she truly feels about him. This is a panel, a page, actually, that a lot of people are not fully understanding what's going on here, and let's explain, because there's a lot of nuance and a lot of things to really discuss here. Toga's character arc, regardless how I feel about the overall vibe of it, for instance, I felt like it was rushed, the conclusion of Toga's character arc was realistic. For instance, that's where it probably always would have ended, with Toga, dying like she did, and, Ochako and her having a final talk and all that at the end. Something along those lines was definitely something I always expected as a reader of My Hero Academia. My biggest issue I had with Toga as a character was that it felt like a big chunk of her character arc was just fast-forward buttons. But regardless of that, the ending conclusion of her character was always something I think many that was paying attention to the story saw coming. And I have not necessarily seen complaints about Toga's conclusion on that end. So what this scene represents, more or less, is that typical trope of a character that's in the afterlife pushing someone's back to keep walking forward and never give up, to be a better person and to try to change. That's kind of what this scene represents at the top here. It reminds me a lot of that, the very famous moment within the One Piece opening after the time skip, where you see Ace push Luffy on the back and all that when he's looking at the Straw Hat. That's what this reminds me of. Obviously, very different circumstances, but it's a common trope within anime and manga. It's just storytelling in general. So, this is more or less a scene like that. That, you know, the feelings that Toga had obviously allowed Ochako to take a step forward and reveal her true feelings to Izuku to say that she loves him. That's what this page and these panels represent. Now, let's get a little bit deeper into this. What did Toga's character arc represent? Someone that had so much repressed feelings and wasn't able to properly express themselves that their feelings exploded out of them to where they became insane and murderous even. But obviously, Toga's character was legitimately tragic. She was a very sad character, but she was a bad person. But she was a victim of her past. And the thing is that Toga wants to showcase her feelings without hiding them. That's a big thing. And she, even though she comes off maybe a little bit overbearing or creepy or whatever, she wants to express her love and passion for those around her. That was a big thing about her character. And obviously, Ochako and Toga realize at the end about their feelings and all of that. And one of the big driving forces is that Ochako's been kind of bottling up her feelings a little bit. You know, she's been hurting a little bit thanks to, you know, Toga's death. And Toga obviously would want Ochako to express her true feelings and Ochako to basically be her real self. Don't hide how she feels and stuff. So this little push on the back is more or less Toga saying, you know, I also am someone that is a hero of love. I love love. So I want you to also express your love to the person you care about. So that's what the page represents. That's at least what I gather. Obviously, it's not translated, but it's very obvious. It's just like, it's very apparent what Horikoshi was doing with these pages. So I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to piece all of that together. Obviously, I just complicated a bit, really diving into the nitty-gritty of the story, but it's very apparent what's going on here. Now, obviously, with the revelation of these final pages, and there's probably even more that we're unaware of, there's a few things I haven't seen pages of, but there has been conversation about from certain leakers, that, just as how Toga inspired Ochako to confess her feelings, Bakugo talked to Izuku to confess his feelings to Ochako, apparently. He was helping him out, being a good friend, and trying to help out Izuku push forward and actually confess to Ochako. That's what I've heard. Now, once again, I haven't seen the pages yet, but that's what's been told from certain leakers. So, if that's indeed the case, that's freaking hilarious. Because, obviously, if you know about the My Hero Academia community, you know about the Deku shippers. You know about them. You 100% do. And the fact that Bakugo pushed Izuku to get with Ochako is freaking hilarious. That is next level hilarious. Now, with all of this out of the way, we do obviously have to show the unhinged nature of the community. Now, there's a lot of people that's very happy with these additional pages. Majority of people, actually, that are very negative, or were very negative of My Hero Academia's ending, has spoken up and said that the ending has, you know, actually done a lot better. Like, this new conclusion has made My Hero Academia a lot better than it was. But there is a certain group that is, upset with the outcome of, you know, seeing Toga push Ochako forward to get with Izuku, and then also Bakugo to push Deku to get with Ochako. There is quite a few people. It doesn't take long to really find it if you search online, but there is a portion of, you know, the My Hero Academia community that is upset by the conclusion of the romantic pairing, going out of their way to basically say Toga's character was worthless and basically just a device to push a relationship, aka, you know, Deku and Ochako. And to a degree, they're not completely wrong. They're not. But it's like, the story's always been kind of pushed towards that direction, so just... Anyways, all I'm going to say is, Horikoshi, who would have thought that he would release this new ending, and it would redeem the manga in a lot of people's eyes. I know for a fact, it made me a lot more satisfied with the conclusion. Is it perfect? No. It doesn't negate flaws that I've had with the story, but I will say this is much better. And I think that this really does showcase just like Horikoshi wasn't able to do his full vision when he released it, and that given enough time, he really gave what he wanted to truly give. I really wish we could have gotten this Horikoshi throughout the runtime of the manga, like the weekly releases, but obviously weekly release shonen is not good, or weekly release manga is just so many deadlines and stuff that just causes an author's health to deteriorate. I really wish we could have gotten this side of Horikoshi more with actual consistency, like, you know, with breaks and stuff, than being forced to kind of rush chapters out, because honestly, it's night and day just seeing the art quality, man. It really is. But I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. Wanted to comment on this. Thought it was fascinating. Love you guys. Chibi out.